Hello, everyone. Today, with the open hearth, we are returning to Silent Falls. We are playing the girls of the Genziana Hotel, which is by Hendrik ten Happel. Um, and we have moved it from its, actual setting in the Alps in the early 19th century to Northern California at the end of the 19th century. So still, I guess, much of a muchness. I hope not too different. Um, my name is Donna. My pronouns are he, him. I am running the game. Let's get introductions from our players and their characters, and then we can jump into the prelude. Dominic, I guess you were first.
Okay. Yeah, I'm Dominic. I'm playing Henny Goggins, who, as is the way with these kinds of games, I don't know much about yet, only that she is a miner's daughter and she has just freshly started at the hotel, according to her uniform.
What's the rest of her look?
Uh, it is unruly hair, friendly eyes, gesturing hands, and the new uniform. So I imagine she's, well, bit of a um, wild girl, but I don't know yet. We'll see.
Okay. Great, thanks, Dominic. Sabine.
Yeah, hi, I'm Celine. I use any pronouns. And sorry, I'm going to play Shirley Barnes. Shirley Barnes has slightly messy blonde hair that always escapes her constraints. She has naive eyes and nervous hands. And she also has a uniform that is a little ill-fitting, honestly. She's trying to modify it, but it's pinching where it shouldn't, and it's too white where it shouldn't. Probably she's inherited it from somebody else and hasn't found a way to make it her own yet. Her parents are professionals, which I think means that her father works in a shop and her mother is basically a housewife who takes care of her 5 siblings or something like that.
Okay. Thanks, Sabine. Zena.
Hi, I'm Zina. My pronouns are they, them. And I'm playing Nellie Travis, who has shiny hair. And I think, I'm not yet sure if that means that it's glossy or that it's actually just a bit too greasy, or always, probably that one. Very intense eyes, nimble hands, and wears a um, mended uniform that is, worn but very well looked after. Her parents are factory workers, so she's definitely not unfamiliar with hard work. But yeah, it's kind of a miracle that gets to keep this job so far because charm is not her strong suit. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thanks, Zena. And Elizabeth.
Hello. I'll be playing Rosalba Briarwood, and she has bushy hair, which I am interpreting as a lot of hair, curly hair that, due to the position as a chambermaid, requires her to keep it pinned up, and she's trying to tame it to look neat. She has distracted eyes, quick fingers, and a wrinkled uniform. I picture her as thinking about being somewhere else. Her life's ambition is not to stay in Silent Falls as a chambermaid, but perhaps there's something else out there for her. Her parents are artists, and she may have been influenced by their sensibilities and a love of aesthetics, but not in her uniform. She's too distracted to keep that pressed and tidy.
Okay. Something appears to have happened to everyone's stress boxes. I don't know what. That should be fixed now. Okay, so let me read this out to start our ball rolling. The only chambermaid absent from the dormitory is Marga, the boyish girl with the wild curls. Nobody knows where she is. There are whispers and giggles. You two can't talk of anything else until the door opens. Miss Pfeiffer, the head of staff, steps into the room, still in uniform, one hand behind her back. Her eyes are more inscrutable than ever. Girls, she says, Marga has disappeared and everything points to her running away. Out of shame, I suspect. Saying these words, Miss Pfeiffer reveals a blood-stained stocking. It droops meekly, black and soiled. Someone starts to cry, and the group of girls erupts in talk. Silence! A stomp of Miss Pfeiffer's boot shakes the floor. Let me be perfectly clear. Under no circumstances are our guests to catch wind of this. I don't want to hear anybody talking about it. Not in the hallway, not in the kitchen, not in the garden, nowhere. Marga doesn't exist anymore. Lights out. A moment of silence, then someone turns down the lamps and Miss Pfeiffer closes the door behind her. Everyone crawls into bed, moonlight peeking through the curtains. Nobody is able to sleep. An invisible force pushes you to your feet and towards the only empty bed in the room. You gather around it. You open her bag with quiet hands, look in her drawer, lift the mattress. You collect all of her belongings on top of her blanket and silently you divide them amongst each other. So, this is the moment where you pick a memento. That lookup also broken. I think it has. Let me read them out, and I will paste them into the chat. I think in the character keeper, I had updated these to be a little bit less German Alps in 1815, but I think the general gist is the same. So Marga's last belongings are a packet of cigarettes, half empty, an ink drawing of a ballerina, a creased postcard of a lake. Wait, I guess it's really to her mother or from her mother. I can't remember. A bouquet of dried flowers, the gentians, the flower which gives the Genziana Hotel its name. A dog-eared novel, which is a tragedy about mermaids, if my German is good enough. A small journal filled with tiny script. A sewing scissors in the shape of a stork, and a hidden flask of sticky smelling schnapps. So we start with the girl with the highest guts, because I think it takes guts to just pick what you want from a pile before anyone else. If you have the same guts as someone else, I don't know. You'll figure that out. So I'm going to ask you to pick an item and then narrate a flashback that characterizes your relationship to Marga. Write down that item as your memento. And then any things that are left after you four have picked ones are picked by the other chambermaids. So there's 4 other chambermaids working here. Okay, so I guess Henny is all guts, right? So, Dominic, what does Henny pick? Your immediate Dominic.
Henny picks the postcard of a lake that says, "See you soon, mother." And the reason why I picked this postcard over anything else is that I'm new at the hotel, and it's been a bit tough to be away from family. And one thing that we bonded over on one of my first evenings here, as we were sitting outside, maybe in the garden, was the fact that when I told her that my mother died soon, she or that my mother left the family. She said, "Yeah, it's the same with me. My mom left, went to see the ocean, and she's been sending me postcards, and this is the last one I got from her a few years back. I don't know what happened to her, so I just have to hope that if her mother is still out there, maybe coming back, then maybe my mother will as well."
Okay. So Nelly and Norsalba have equal guts. What do you think, Xena or Elizabeth? Do you think charm or smarts helps you win this race?
I think it's probably smart because because Nelly doesn't care how it looks to go and grab what she wants, right? I hope that's okay.
Does that sound about right, Elizabeth?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Nelly will grab the pack of cigarettes. Because she is a very, I think she's a very practical person, and yeah, cigarettes aren't cheap, and it's always good to have something to use for your stress relief, which is probably also the one activity in which she spent more sort of one-on-one time with um, goodness, what is her name?
Marga?
With our missing. Yes, exactly, with her. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if the others smoke or not, but I guess, it's easier to sort of be, yeah, have little stolen moments with a few short exchanges when you're sharing a cigarette late at night, because you probably have to steal away, because I can't imagine that being accepted behavior among like chambermaids around a hotel. So yeah, I think that's what we would do.
Okay. Great. Elizabeth, how about Rosalba? What memento do you take?
Um, Rosalba is caught by the still bright blue of the dried gentian's flowers, the bouquet, and that's what she'll reach for. It reminds her of a warm spring evening, one of the first warm days that reaches here in Silent Falls in Northern California. And she and Marga finished up their cleaning the rooms early and went out for a walk and found a side of the hill where these gentians were blooming and picked bouquets and tied them into their hair and felt like they were something more than just chambermaids at this small hotel in the middle of nowhere. And she's surprised that Marga pressed and dried the flowers and kept the bouquet.
Amazing. And well, last but not least, Shirley. Sabine, what does Shirley take?
I think Shirley will take the drawing of a ballerina because, I mean, first of all, chambermaid is not supposed to dance, right? But I think she's always had this dream of seeing a ballerina, not of being a ballerina, no, of seeing one on a stage, like seeing this. This would be so amazing. And I think Marga was maybe had seen something like it. Maybe they had a guest who was training here and she saw that or something like it. And I think ever since Marga had wanted to be a ballerina. And that was her ambition. This was not going to be the last place that she spent her life. And no, oh no, she had ambitions. And Shirley admired that, but she could never, just wants to see it.
Okay. So yeah, the other four girls, whose names are Bridget, Ava, Ilka, and Judith, um, take the remaining four items. Maybe I'll decide which ones they take at a future date. Maybe it'll become relevant then. Um, they kind of slowly return to bed, but the four of you, um, I wonder who will I ask? Yeah, Henny. Why do you promise the others not to quit until you found out what happened to Marga, who did it, and what you could do about it?
Because she was kind to me and because us working girls need to stick together. Like, I don't think there's much to be debated. Of course, I won't quit.
You think that, matter of factness, that obvious statement from Henny draws agreement from the rest of you, or do you think you have something else to add, something more important or pressing?
I don't think quitting really crosses Nellie's mind at this moment anyway. So I think she just sort of nods along.
Shirley is kind of scared because that wasn't the order, right? But on the other hand, it's about Marga, and also she would not contradict Henny or Nelly. So she just kind of goes, yeah, of course, wide-eyed.
What about Rosalba?
Yeah. We owe it to her. We can't just let them forget about her. Mistress says she can't be mentioned. We can't let that happen. She has to be mentioned and remembered.
Okay. So with your pact made, let's take a break, and then we can jump into the first dawn phase and take a look at the first question. Easy. Okay, so let's jump in. So the hotel's rhythm dictates the girls' lives, and thus also when the investigation into Marga's disappearance can occur. You spend your waking hours taking care of demanding guests and hotel maintenance. Any sleuthing might come at a cost of some job left undone. If the girls forego a night's rest, they can move around more freely, but they'll have to brave the dark hallways that swallowed Marga. So much like we see in many Coffin Whittle games, the locations and the characters are slightly more menacing during the night. The other thing to mention is if you get a full night's sleep, you recover stress. And if you don't, you don't. So the daily rhythm is divided into 4 phases of play, each with their own texture and function. So dawn is basically how we introduce the day. The days when you do your work or do your sleuthing. And then when we move into nighttime, we have twilight, which is kind of like dawn, but introducing the night phase, and then the night phase. If you are sleeping, there's a dreams mechanic, which is kind of like the unseen in the between. You know, we are filling in some details of the world that way. And then we go around again. Girls that had a full night's sleep clear to stress. That's not a problem. Today, Miss Pfeiffer, the head of staff, gathers all the chambermaids. What she usually does here is make some announcements and then hand out a special assignment. Special assignments are typically punishments, but it could just be something that we think would be interesting. Okay, so sorry, I missed that question. Yeah, everyone chooses whether you're going to sleep or not individually. So you get to do things or you get to dream, basically. Okay. So Miss Pfeiffer shows up. She is pretty much as you remember her from like last night when she made the shocking announcement about Marga. She has piercing eyes, reading glasses often on her nose. Even if she's not reading, it probably makes her stare a little bit more foreboding. She has a ring of keys, usually in her hands. So, yeah. Let's do or normal, but I think we need someone to pick up the slack before we can hire someone new. Does anyone want to take care of the state of our uniforms? I noticed quite a lot of dishevelment.
Henny raises her hand.
Well, honey, I am continually impressed by your gumption. Um, this is in addition to your usual tasks, but you may take some time off those in order to make sure that everyone is looking the best for our beloved hotel.
Thank you, Miss Pfeiffer.
Remember my words last night? Not a word about why we have a spare uniform.
Of course, Miss Pfeiffer.
So, there are, I guess, a few tasks which are typical. Um, what is typical? So, turning over the guest rooms, repairing old uniforms, which we've already signed, washing and pressing linens, peeling and cutting vegetables, mincing meat and stuffing sausages, dusting and cleaning the hallways, serving food in the dining hall, weeding and pruning in the garden, drawing water at the well, and collecting tinder or firewood at the forest edge. As you can see, you're not just chambermaids, you're doing just about everything there is to do around this hotel. Not cooking, I guess, but everything else, it would seem to me. So you'll see, does someone want to just go do their job, right? But you always have an opportunity to kind of pay attention to a situation or a person, try to leverage someone else's needs, step out of line. If you feel like you're being taken advantage of, you can, stick your nose in if you want to look for clues. Dominic, what do you think Henny gets off to initially?
I think since I'm new at the hotel and I have to kind of fight for my standing here, my first priority is to take care of the uniforms. And while I'm doing that, I might as well just keep my ears open. But I will focus on the work and do it as best I can.
Yeah. So do you think there is a particular place where you would do this work?
I would assume that a hotel would have a washery.
Yeah. So there is
where they have like
a
specialized tools for
laundry.
that.
Yeah. There's definitely a laundry, which is definitely full of that kind of stuff. Soaking and boiling tubs, those manglers that wring the water out of clothes. Shelves of little tubs or maybe packets of starch for all those collars.
Awful work for the hands in the back, but my dad and my brothers can do it, so can I.
Yeah. So there's obviously a table there set up for sewing and repairing and that kind of stuff. Tell me, what does the laundry room's strange mixture of bleach and florals and smoke remind you of?
I mean, I've only heard it from the tales of my dad and my brothers. But the way they've described it, that is what immediately comes to mind. Like this place that is filled with specialized tools that is not quite built for humans, that is built for enterprise and for the company. And we all kind of squeeze between the machines and we have to make do. and hope that we don't lose a finger in the process.
So yeah, this industrial place that seems familiar, even though you've never really spent much time in it before. Okay.
Mm.
Um, so I think you're sharing this room right now with Judith, who has
Hmm.
got red hair. She's young and forcefully cheerful, let's say. Um, she is doing the washing, basically.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think she's chatty. Um, and maybe she's asking a lot of questions about your family, like where you come from, what they do, all that kind of small talk, but also
Hmm.
maybe a little bit nosy. Um, what? How do you deal with that?
Oh, that's fine. I have nothing to hide. I will tell her my family has been here for a few generations, and um, we try to survive like everybody else does, I think. Um, and I just started here and try to pitch in so we can keep our house, um, which is under constant threat from the bank. And I try to not make too big of a wave while I'm here because I need to keep that job. So how about you? What's her name again? Sorry.
Her name. Oh yeah, I should really remember that.
Judith,
Her
you
name is
said Judith.
Judith. Yeah,
So
Judith.
how about you, Judith?
Oh, we just I just moved here. My mother sent me up here to get me out from underfoot
Mm.
to earn a wage. I send back some of my wages every week in the post. Um,
So
but
does your family live here in Silent Falls or?
oh, they live further north in Oregon.
Mm. And what's your experience with the mail? Does it come in time or does it go missing sometimes?
Um, it's pretty good.
Mm.
Maybe a week normally, a week to get
Mm.
there.
Mm. How's the people here? Have you met them and Miss what was it, Pfeiffer? She seems a bit stern.
She's always complaining if we're talking, we're being lazy. If we have fun, we're debauched, depraved. Oh, she uses such terrible words about us.
Mm.
I
But
even no, I shouldn't say. Um,
come on.
so, do you want to? Um, what do you think? Are you just kind of paying attention? Are you trying to read into it? Are you trying to kind of make her a deal? Are you trying to, get
I
her to give you something in return for something else?
No, I think with this thing where she said I shouldn't say I'm like prying. Come on. You can tell me what's up. I won't tell. I promise. I'm sticking my nose in. You could say.
Okay, yeah. So it sounds like you're persuading them, but
Hmm.
maybe you're also like being brave and kind of exerting your influence a little bit. I don't know whether you think it's charm or guts.
I think it's more charm. I'm not strong arming her or anything.
Okay.
I'm just trying to be friendly.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. So let's let's get a roll. So you're rolling 2d6. Um, if you want to, you can engage with a memento to give yourself an
Hmm.
advantage, or you can, after the roll, mark stress to give yourself bonuses.
Hmm.
And this would give you some kind of clue.
I rolled a 9.
Okay. Um, so, are you happy to keep it at a 9, or do you want to take stress to
Let
bump
me
it up
just
to a
quickly
10?
see what the 9 does. There's a complication, either the clue itself. I mean, plus one stress would be a straight hit, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
No complication or anything
yeah,
like that.
let's do that. And I think the stress, like the narrative side of the stress, is just that it is quite difficult actually because I'm not a great mender. It is really work that I really need to focus on. And it's not all that easy to also have a small talk while I'm doing that. And it's even less easy to like pry into what that girl doesn't really want to say while I'm still mending the uniforms. So that is quite stressful, actually.
So yeah, I think conspiratorially, um, Judith, leans over to you and maybe, she's looking at the door into the laundry room just to make sure you don't get discovered.
Hmm.
And she says, "Well, Marga, Marga used to sneak out at night,
Oh,
like a lot of the
totally.
time. My bed is, close to the door, and so I
Mhm.
notice all of these kind of shenanigans."
But you didn't follow
And
her, did you?
did not follow her
I wouldn't have
because
either.
she asked me to make sure that no one else noticed
Mm.
because
How
she
did
was
she do that?
afraid someone would sell her out. I know
Oh, okay.
people are always telling Miss Pfeiffer secrets for advantage.
Oh, did she threaten you, or did you just
Mar-
ask?
Margaret just asked.
Yeah, that's how I remember her as well. Yeah. Oh, thanks for telling you. It's safe with me. Don't worry.
So I put that in the mystery tab. That is a clue. Marga regularly sneaked, sneaked out at night.
Hmm. And sorry, I gotta ask one more time. Who is the girl I was talking to? Carol?
Judith.
Judith.
Yeah. So if you look in the Genziana Hotel suspects and locations, you'll see all the staff members and the guests are named there. If you, um, yeah, so Bridget, Ava, Ilka, and Judith are the
Hmm.
chambermaids.
Thank you.
They are all usefully color coded. In the day note, you'll see. So, I mean, they're not secret, right? There are some brief descriptions of them and
Ah.
some kind of general questions. Um, but Red Judith, young and forcefully cheerful.
Ah. Interesting. Thanks.
Okay, no problem. So, who has a good idea for what job they are doing right now? Sabine, do you have an idea for Shirley?
Oh, yeah, I think maybe I'm cleaning up the guests' rooms, like making the beds and dusting the windows or whatever you do as a chambermaid. Empty the chamber pots. Like, yeah.
Yeah. So I think, is this a job? I guess making the beds is probably quicker with two people, but maybe you're doing separate rooms. Who do you think is doing this job with you? Which of the
Um,
other,
other
or
PCs
indeed, it could be
or
another PC who's doing the job with you if Nelly or Rosalba want to join in.
um, do You want to join in, Nelly?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
makes, yeah, why not?
Yeah, because more hands make this is a German proverb. I'm sorry.
No, I think you mean make many hands make light
Yeah,
work.
that's what I mean. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
This is also in English, so
Yes, that is
Yeah.
the proverb I was thinking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's one of our guests who's a composer, right? He writes a ballet. I've seen that. And I think well, Shirley is kind of paying special attention to his
Okay.
room
because he is. Yep. Sorry, go.
he's writing a ballet, and I mean, she tries to do a good job on all the rooms, but this one, it's like, yeah, and she will sniffle a bit because she remembers Marga and the dreams and Marga had, and probably won't be able to fulfill them now because I think she will say quietly so that Miss Pfeiffer won't hear, right? Really quietly, but she will say, Nellie, do you think something really bad happened to Marga, or is she just, I mean, there was blood on the thing, I think, that Miss Pfeiffer held yesterday.
Well, there's no use, thinking the worst right now. We don't know anything, and as long as we don't know anything, it's best to just, assume that she's still okay, and we can do something to help her, right?
Okay. Yes. That's. Yeah. You're right. You're so right. Thank you for saying that. I was so worried. I mean, I'm still worried, but yeah.
Well, worrying without doing anything won't really get us any further to finding her, right?
That's true. I mean, yeah. Should we? I don't know. I mean, look around. I look. I know Marga wanted to be a ballerina. Maybe she was here. Like.
God, is that drunk?
Well, he's writing a ballet.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
so he
he's
says.
not always drunk. Look, I've seen a poster in his things of a ballet. I think it is. I might be. I didn't pay too much attention, but should I have a look?
I mean, sure. Okay.
Okay.
You go ahead, and I'll make sure that Miss Pfeiffer doesn't.
Thank you. You're the best. Gives you a quick hug, and then I think wanders over to well, poke around, I guess.
Well, yeah. So let me set the scene a little bit, and then we'll ask you to paint the scene, and then we'll get you to get into trouble. So new walls in the guest rooms plastered and covered with arsenic blue wallpaper. 16 rooms all contain a large bed and closet, some seats, a vanity, and a desk. The hotel's 2 baths have their own rooms. So for Tiberius Roth, the composer, what way has he made the room their own?
I would imagine, well, aside from anything else, there is a very well stocked, there was a very well stocked bar of drinks. And he's weirdly meticulous in lining up the empty bottles from tallest to shortest.
I was also leaning into the drinking, obviously, but I think apart from having finished all of these individual bottles, he's probably decided it's better to, get full bottles and, save some cash probably. But he has, of course, insisted on decanting his whiskey into, a nice crystal.
Mhm.
Is it a bottle or is it anyway? Whatever. Um, a lovely stoppered bottle that doesn't really come with the room, but he's a bit pretentious like that, right?
Yeah.
Well, he's an artist. He gets to be pretentious.
So yeah. I guess we'll introduce Tiberius Roth himself when he appears on screen, but obviously
Mhm.
now when you're doing his room, he is not there.
Yeah, that would be so weird.
Yeah. So what do you think? Are you sticking your nose in, or are you trying to kind of gain some information about the situation?
Oh, let me check.
I'm
No,
not
I
sure
think
an
I'm.
empty room counts as a situation really, but
No,
it could do.
I think I will stick my nose in. Obviously, I'm sticking my nose and I'm looking at places where I'm not exactly. I mean, I am pretending, obviously, to dust quite
Mhm.
enthusiastically, but well, I don't think it will be that much more clean, but cleaner than it was before. But maybe I find something interesting.
Mhm.
And Nelly's doing the same by the door, close
Okay.
by, to be able to hear any steps.
Yeah. So uh, I think maybe we'll do sticking your nose in first, and then maybe Nelly can pay attention to the situation in order to, see what else is going on. Maybe there's something else, in another room adjoining the corridor.
Interesting.
So I would think you're sticking your nose in by thorough examination,
Yeah. Yes.
um,
Yes.
which is
Yes.
smart.
Which is fine. We have a dice roller, do we?
Uh,
Do we not?
Actually, we do, but of course you can roll it however you want. I just put
I
the link in.
okay. Oh, there it is. Okay. No, I like the dice roller. And I'm rolling +1. And I'm not Cyrano. No. That is totally the wrong character. Okay. What did I roll? No, I didn't roll. Oh no, I okay. No, I will roll now. Or try to. Wow, okay. Okay, wow. It's a 13.
Mhm.
Okay, I don't see anything, but that is all right.
Yeah.
A 13. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
There is no 12 plus though in most of the moves in this game, so
Uh,
you have to
that's okay.
be satisfied with just a 10 plus.
I'm fine
You
with
find a
that.
clue. I'll tell you what it is. There's no complications.
Okay.
So let me see what do you see here. Um, yeah, I think in amongst the composing, there are a lot of musical notation, a lot of words, a lot of sketches, which are obviously to do with this ballet about a dryad or some kind of mermaid or some kind of nature creature. I think there is several different versions here, which he is sketching along in like as liner notes. And I think on the edges of one of these sheets, you see a sketch which looks like very strange. It's a circle with strange symbols all around the edge of it. Symbols that don't look like any writing that you would ever have seen.
Okay. I can't read this.
Um, how, what does it feel like when you're reading this, when you touch this? Do you get some kind of sense of unease? Is it, it's obviously interesting enough for you to take note of.
I think it feels like mysterious and worldly, and I'm kind of like, I know I shouldn't touch this, and this is totally wrong what I'm doing, but I'm also a little thrilled, right? Because I'm not normally a courageous girl. I'm not at all. And touching this and seeing this and looking at this, that's like, oh my gosh, this is forbidden, but it is also so exciting.
So do you think you're brave enough to actually take it so you can show it to anyone else, or do you just like, take
No, no, no,
a
no.
photograph of it in your mind
Um,
to relate to people later? What do you think?
I think I might. Can I? Is there paper in the wastebasket? I mean, I'd have to empty the wastebasket, right?
Absolutely.
And
There is lots of paper, scrunched up or scrolled, and
mhm.
the creative process is
Oh
very
yeah,
challenging.
yes. Okay, I understand this. I will make a little drawing. It's probably not very precise, but yeah, so
Okay.
that I can take it with me. This exciting thing that I just found, which just shows how intelligent he is, right?
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think, Zena, we want to make this situation interesting. So I think maybe Tiberius Roth himself, comes up the stairs and starts walking down
And
towards his room.
I think I'll just be
Um,
like, going like this to like, get out of there.
um, do you think paying attention?
Mm,
Um, the I think obviously the danger in this situation might be that you're looking the wrong way and he arrives before you notice him, or do you think you can um, find something out from him as as he stops to talk to you, right?
ah. Yeah, so I mean, I think I was paying attention to the general goings on the hallway, right? Or like what's just outside the room, sort of, just to make
Mhm.
sure that
Yeah,
nobody catches us.
yeah,
So I don't know if that is like a decent, how do you say that? Like risk in the sense of like that specifically the one thing that I'm trying to do over
yeah,
here
yeah.
doesn't
That's
work.
fair.
Like,
Um, but maybe you,
but it could be
um,
that I look very suspicious doing it,
yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway, Tiberius Roth is old and disheveled. He has a great big neck beard. He wears silk scarves, and obviously he's here to work on his ballet. Um, so yeah, let's see a rule. I think it is you're paying attention, which
Mhm.
is smarts by default, which is good for Nelly because she has a lot of
Indeed.
smarts.
So, but yeah, I think if I see him sort of come in, I don't know, just in case it's still a risk to Shirley, I would just be like, "Oh, Mr. What's his name?
Mr.
Tiberius, no,
Roth. Yeah.
Mr. Roth. Oh, so sorry. We'll just be a minute." Very loudly. Yeah. Oh, well, there you go. It's a 14.
Okay.
I
Well, the
actually
dice are
rolled.
definitely on your side today.
Yes.
And yeah, he stops, and I think inside, Shirley has time to finish her little sketch of the sigils, and he said, and his breath. It's early in the morning, well, not too early, but it's in the late morning, and his breath is already a little bit stinky. Um, and he says, "Oh, I just want to get something from my room. Um, tell me that girl who is a dancer. Have you seen her around? I need a model uh, for my sketches."
Dancer? No, not that I wouldn't know who a dancer is here.
Oh,
And I think I
the
scrunch
girl,
up my nose, sort of.
the girl with the messy hair. He's obviously trying to describe Shirley, but
Oh, somehow I didn't even pick up on that for some reason. I thought it was the dancing thing was Marga. Sorry. Um, yeah. Anyway, well, yeah. I mean, she's just tidying inside your room right now.
oh, and he, um, lurches around your little cart with all your cleaning equipment on it, and looks in. Surely, I presume, you finish your sketch, you've put it away,
Yeah, yes.
or
In my
whatever.
booth.
How have you kind of repositioned yourself for best
Um,
effect?
for best effect, I'm a chambermaid. I'm a chambermaid. I need to be. I don't need. I shouldn't be suspicious. So what I do, I have my thing, my duster, and I will clean the lamp or something, like very industriously, very very mindful and very demure.
So, Zena, you get to ask one of the questions on paying
Hmm.
attention to do with the situation.
Yeah.
Um, I guess mostly maybe about Roth in general.
Yeah.
Um, we can give you some time to think about that, and maybe we'll move on to Rosalba.
I mean, I
Um,
think I would have just asked what does he want apart from, what he's already said. Like if there because it feels like there is a connection in some way or yeah.
yeah, so I think he seems to be stuck. And maybe this is something when you hear from Shirley, or maybe you've seen the messiness of the room itself, right? He seems to be stuck in his composition. He needs something as
Amuse.
inspiration, a muse, or something as inspiration. And he has, said, "Oh, maybe if I saw someone dancing, um, it would spark something." But really, he doesn't know what he wants. It could be getting lost in the woods would help him get in touch with a dryad or something.
Right. Okay.
So I think he will be indebted to you um, if you were to make a suggestion that he found useful.
Mm-hmm.
Does that seem fair?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Nice.
So yeah, Elizabeth, what about Rosalba? What are you getting up to?
I think Rosalba, uh, her typical assignment is serving guests in the dining room. And when she's not doing that, not at meal times, she's helping out in the kitchen chopping vegetables.
Okay. Um, so yeah, I mean, are you just trying to stay in line? Are you looking for an angle to see what's going on here? You're sticking your nose in as one of the guests eats their late breakfast. What do you think?
Okay, yes, if they're guests, then I'll be paying attention
Okay.
to maybe a guest is recounting uh, something that happened last night, or they heard something, or maybe they're complaining to the hotel manager or to Miss Pfeiffer about some noise. But I'm trying to listen to anything out of the ordinary that might hint at Marga's whereabouts, because I also I think another one of our chambermaids mentioned that she believes that Marga has taken it upon herself to leave, and that's also my impression, that she was a willful and she had bigger dreams. And I think at this point nothing bad has happened to her, that Marga maybe is off having a grand adventure and we'll see her again.
Okay. So, I guess if you're just paying attention, you're looking for kind of information about the guests or even about some of the other serving staff here. Whereas if you're really looking for a clue, it's more like sticking your nose in. So, what do you
Oh,
think?
okay. Oh, okay. And then I guess I'll be sticking my nose in.
Okay. So your three options here, there's like one for each of your stats. Persuading
Yeah.
someone, thorough examination or questioning, or showing some pluck or exerting yourself. Which of those makes the most sense?
It depends on who's having this late breakfast.
So yeah, let's say it is the Millers. So Matthew Miller, who is this academic, and his wife Regina, who is mostly jealous.
Oh, okay. Matthew Miller. Oh, okay. I see. Flirtatious. Well, think I'll be flirting with Matthew while his disappointed wife looks on
Uh,
for this inappropriate behavior. But I'm just trying to ensure he's having a pleasant stay.
yeah,
There's
it
nothing more
is
to it.
dangerously close to the wind, but needs must. So you're rolling plus charm, I guess.
Okay.
So yeah, you can roll 2d6. Okay, the dice are loving you today.
Yeah.
You're getting a clue. Um, so I think why don't you describe maybe your approach in flirting in terms of like not giving Miss Pfeiffer, who is kind of supervising the dining room, but also like staying under the radar of Regina Miller. Uh, how do you thread that needle?
Reading Matthew's background, it seems that he has a particular interest in fairy tales, and our flirting is in the guise of this ongoing fairy tale that we're telling, and it seems like some lines are maybe a little more titillating and they could be suggestive, but they're double entendres. But I don't quite get that. I might sometimes cross the line saying something a bit too obvious, but then I can step back and say, oh no, that was just the fairy hiding under the rose bush, and it was the blush of the tale that caused all of the other fairies to giggle and gather round.
And yeah, I think maybe Regina is complaining about this grapefruit. Grapefruits are really big in for breakfast in the late 19th century. I don't know, they're supposed to be healthy or something.
Yes.
And she is, calling over Miss Pfeiffer to complain and really not paying attention to this boring fairy tale nonsense. And Matthew, um, uh, you know, as you're serving, so it's kind of a conversation broken up, says, I found this very interesting book in the library. And he has it under his napkin because he's been reading it at the breakfast table surreptitiously. It's actually seems like an account of the novices. So apparently this used to be, for some years, a nunnery, if you can believe that. I don't know why anyone would choose this godforsaken place to set up a nunnery, but maybe that tells you more about nuns than anything else.
I didn't know that anyone went into the library.
Well, when you're researching fairy tales, I suppose I have two choices: the forest or a library.
I would choose the forest.
Well,
Well,
but
what's this about a nunnery, a convent? You say?
exactly. Um, and well, in this journal, which appears to be a novice, a nun in training, I suppose we call them, and she is recounting a sequence of disappearances from the nunnery. Young, well, mostly young ladies, novices like herself, disappearing.
Well, that sounds frightening.
Exactly. And I think the Mother Superior pretends that they ran away to forsake their vows, but obviously there is something else going on.
Mother Superior? Like our ill-tempered Miss Pfeiffer?
Well, I couldn't say that. She's within earshot.
Oh, oops. And,
Um,
a grapefruit is supposed to be tart.
um, so yes, he hides the journal again, but no doubt if you wanted to reference it in the future, you might be able to. So I've added that third clue, a novice's journal recounting a period of disappearances, into the mystery sheet. Okay. And then, I think, once you've had that exchange, and you cry out about the grapefruits, Regina says, finally, someone take notice of me. And says thank you. So obviously completely oblivious to this flirtation.
Could I get you some sugar, madame?
Perhaps sugar is what's required.
Grapefruits are good for the complexion. Please enjoy. And I'll back away.
And I think she thinks there's something wrong with her complexion, and she starts to, pinch her cheeks in classic Austen fashion. Okay. So, I guess when you have a chance, do you think you can, like, maybe you have, supper together before we go into twilight? It's a chance to meet and exchange notes, or perhaps the other four are not being part of your pact, or just doing everyday gossip. But I think you have probably more things to talk about. What I think do people want to share the most? We can assume that you can bring each other up to speed on all the clues, but if there's something you want to talk about specifically.
I mean, I would like to know if anybody recognizes this writing thing that I found. Anybody knows this way of writing? Is it maybe something that only composers do? But I saw notes and that I recognize.
I guess unless you tell us that this is something that somebody might know, we probably don't know what this is, right? The circle with the strange symbols.
Yeah, I mean, remember because it's carved from brindlewood, you don't want to define it too
Yeah.
much, right? But if you think that your character may have, read some pulpy novels of the age, or have seen something in the library, which apparently now is is in the hotel, you can make something up for sure.
Okay. No, I was just well, now I was thinking, oh, actually, given that my character has the smarts, it feels like that would be befitting, but I don't actually have an idea. And then I thought, oh, what about Rosalba with all the fairy tales and the folk myths? But yeah.
But I was thinking no, because I don't have the smarts, and my parents were artists, not musicians. I don't feel like I could
Oh, it's not
draw.
music. It's not necessarily musical stuff, right?
That's true.
Weird symbols.
Yeah. Weird symbols. Yeah.
Symbols could be something an artist you might have seen in some art or something when you were at an exhibition, maybe. But if not, then that's fine. Charlie's just excited that she found something.
But I think what Nelly really wants to talk about is, did you know the old creep? I mean, Mr. Roth.
Not a creep.
He seems to be really into, after dancers. So I don't know. Maybe he has something to do with Marga's disappearance. Or and he was looking for you specifically, Shirley. He was asking after you.
After me.
So be careful around him.
But why? He's a composer. He writes ballets. I've seen his sketches. They're so interesting.
Yes, but have you seen how he looks at us?
Like a man does? Don't they all look at us like that?
Well, I mean, this one already reeks of alcohol at 10 in the morning. So I feel like maybe he's a bit more, unpredictable.
Maybe you're right. Yeah, maybe I should be more cautious about holding.
I learned something very interesting. This dreary place used to be a nunnery.
Oh, that fits, I guess.
Wouldn't that also
looking
be
around
dreary? Wouldn't that also be dreary?
Donna, do we know all the guests who are here? Specifically, I'm asking about Sister Hedwig.
Yeah, I mean, as you can see, there's 16 rooms that I mentioned already, and only like 7 listed guests, right? So this is heavily overstaffed. Um, and obviously, you know all of these guests. Certainly by the kind of introductory notes there. So Sister Hedwig is a nun. If she is mourning her abolished convent, presumably that is this place, But yeah, I guess if it hadn't occurred to you that this place used to be a convent, then you mightn't have asked her about that.
Now I will. It explains why Sister Hedwig is here. I just thought she was a mopey.
We're not supposed to question guests.
Well, maybe she'd like to tell me her life story.
Oh, yes.
I will comfort her, not question her.
Okay. That sounds better, yes. What a good idea. Was one of you in the forest, like ever?
Sure. To have a smoke.
Oh,
To
okay.
pick flowers?
No,
Okay.
to have a smoke and peace and quiet.
Okay. Maybe that's why she went. You know what I'm talking about.
Well, yes, but so far she's always come back from
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
So,
sure.
but
Yeah.
I mean, maybe we can check it out for sure.
I'm scared of the forest.
There's nothing scary about the forest.
I don't know what
There's
to tell
wolves
you.
in the
It's just
forest. And
Bears.
bad people.
And
And
fairies.
bears.
And fairies.
Okay, fairies. Maybe, but bears for real?
yeah, but you just got to know how to deal with them. I don't know. But if you don't want, you don't have to go to the forest. You can do other things. It's fine.
I want to be brave. Nelly, I really do, but I'm not.
We can't all be.
Yeah, I'm sorry. If you really need me, I will go with you to the forest, but maybe I can do something else instead. Maybe
that's all right.
I can take on, if you want to go to the forest tonight, maybe I can stay here and then take over some extra duties tomorrow.
Sure.
Okay. Sorry.
Oh, Nelly, you want to go into the forest tonight?
That's fun.
No time like the present.
Yeah.
Oh.
Be careful. Don't get eaten. If you all three get eaten, I have to do all this with the other four. I'll be so cross.
Is the moon bright tonight? Will we be able to find our way?
You could take a lantern.
We're not taking a lantern. Miss Pfeiffer will see us immediately if we're taking a lantern out there.
It's true.
I can show you where Marga and I used to go out and pick flowers.
Okay. Where was that? Was that around the forest as well?
Yes, on the edge of the forest.
Okay.
In the meadow.
So you also would like to come?
I don't have to. Maybe
No.
I can take a tray up to Sister Hedwig.
Oh, good idea. Yes. Maybe she knows something about whatever is going on here. Maybe this has been going on for longer than, the hotel's been around.
Yes, when I was speaking with Professor Miller, did you know there was a library in this hotel? I'm learning a lot today.
Of course.
There is a library in the hotel.
And I think Nelly's just rolling her eyes. It's like,
yeah, well, I spend all my time in the kitchen or the restaurant, or the dining room. Yes, he found a book written by a nun in training. Speaking of other disappearances, it scared me a little, but maybe Sister Hedwig knows would also tell such a story.
well,
Maybe
whatever.
I can go to the library and see if I found something about my symbol.
Oh, good idea, Shirley.
Is it?
Did you say is it or?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry. I have the transcription thing on and it said shit. And I was like,
No.
I'm sure that's not what you said.
No, it's not what I said. I said, is it?
All right.
Okay, so before we like officially go into Twilight, um, um, let's take a break. Uh, so, so we're gonna start Twilight. Miss Pfeiffer gathers the chambermaids to make announcements and to punish troublemakers. No one got caught, most importantly, doing things outside of their duties, so there's no punishment tonight. In fact, Miss Pfeiffer does seem quite pleased with everyone. She's heard no complaints, no chatter about Marga, so seems um, untypically happy with everyone. So, I know we had a discussion about what you were going to do, but I guess we can just make sure that everyone says what the girl will do during the night. If you want to revise your statement at the end based on what someone else has said or a new idea that you have, that is fine. Basically, what you're going to do is go out and do stuff or get a good night's rest and dream. Just to note that if no one, so if someone dreams and other people are out, then the person dreaming, like staying asleep, is kind of responsible for all of the stuff in the dream. If no one dreams, then we just share that responsibility equally, just so we see the dream happen anyway. So yeah, let's go around the table. Dominic, what do you think Henny is going to get up to tonight?
So that means if nobody is, if everybody's going out, we still have a dream? Wow,
We
I don't
still,
have.
yeah, so we still do that dream. Maybe it's a little bit caught in those couple of hours you grab before you do
Yeah.
that, or after when you come back. But
Well,
yeah,
in that case,
we
I
get
don't
to
have
do
to
it.
decide. I'm going out.
Um, I'm right about that, aren't I? Yes.
Going to the woods with Nelly. Don't know, Nelly, if you like formally and really have invited me, but I'll tag along anyway. Hoping I'll not get sent home.
Oh no, I think Nelly was banking on you coming with.
Cool.
Okay. What about Shirley?
Colin, I was thinking about going to sleep so we could experience the dream, but if we are going to experience it anyway, I think I will attempt to get into the library and sneak around with a little candlelight, maybe that's not so bright and hopefully won't be seen.
Okay.
Maybe.
And Rosalba? What is she up to this night?
I'm going to bring up the dinner tray to Sister Hedwig.
Okay. Super. So what we do is I'll introduce the topic of the dream anyway, and like in between every scene or in between. So I think we're gonna swap back and forth as soon as someone triggers a move or resolves that move. And then because no one is getting good night's sleep, everyone is gonna resolve one of the four prompts in the dream. So you can see all this in the Dreams tab. So this first one is the shadow of home. A young woman wakes up in her childhood bedroom. A sliver of moonlight falls onto the floor from between the curtains. The room is just as she remembers, but why is she here? So I guess let's go into the forest. Um, so the pine forest kind of surrounds the hotel and goes like all the way out to the mines, which is where most of the economic activity in Silent Falls is taking place. It's always dark inside the forest. Even lantern light claws meekly against its murk. Arm scar from thorns and bushes, trails, trunks, and carcasses are overgrown. Purple flowers bloom in the shade. Um, Nelly, what what does the mulch and earth beneath your feet feel like?
Mm, well, what do you want to know now? To me, it feels unfamiliar, I think. Well, I mean, not un. Let's put it this way. I think I've been here for a while, but it still has some novelty because I grew up, right? My parents are factory workers. I grew up in a, not really that with that much nature surrounding us. So I kind of always find it quite um, pleasant to step on that because it's so different from, yeah.
But what does this feel like to you if you haven't been out here before?
If I haven't
This
been out here
if
before.
you haven't been in this pine forest at night, it feels a little bit strange, right? It doesn't feel exactly like you imagined it would.
Hmm. Maybe it feels a bit more treacherous than at daytime.
Okay. And Henny, like where do you lead Nelly on this little trek?
I was under the assumption that I'm tagging along, so I guess
Oh,
we both lead each other nowhere really.
uh,
Walking, talking, and almost getting lost.
yeah. Um, so I guess the question then is, what exactly are you looking for out here?
I think I would go to, like to the little spot that we used to go to have a smoke, which is probably not too far into the forest, but a little bit
Mhm.
inside, so we can feel like we won't be caught unawares by Miss Pfeiffer or
Hmm.
somebody else.
Yeah. And if we go just a little bit further, there's a little brook where we could, you know, put our feet in, have them relax after a day on them.
Yeah, and I think there's a gap in the trees just above this brook, and you see this light, this moonlight, cut through the darkness, and then, you know, against one of these trunks, you can see what looks like um, a corpse,
Ew.
maybe a skeletal remain staring at you, and it has blue eyes. That's the thing you notice in the moonlight. It has these giant blue eyes.
But otherwise looks like a skeleton.
Otherwise, it looks like a skeleton. Yeah.
Like blue human blue eyes or like blue gemstones or something. Like are
I
they
mean,
shiny?
I think you might have to get closer to make that determination.
No, but what quality of blue is it? Like is it
In the dark forest moonlight, I think you need to get closer to determine more than just blue.
Ooh, okay, I did not expect that. Um,
that's interesting. I think Henny will go like, okay, that's scary.
a little bit.
I wanna I want to look closer.
Yeah, okay. you go ahead. Just poking Henny a little bit,
Yeah.
sort of slowly
So,
stepping after.
yeah. So when you brave the night facing something that you fear, it sounds like you're confronting it with guts. And before rolling, say what you're afraid might happen if you come up short.
Yeah. So I think what I want to like achieve is I want to see what the blue sheen in the eyes is, and what I'm afraid of is that it's some sort of yeah. I mean, with smarts -1, I am afraid that it is some sort of haint, some sort of ghost.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, I guess it has to be worse than you fear. If you, I think this ghost is going to haunt you
Hmm.
um, if you disturb its rest in any way.
But I'm just too curious.
So, yeah, why don't you roll plus guts?
Uh-huh.
Sorry, no, that's wrong. We have engaged the move, so we'll go back to the dreams.
Oh yeah.
So, Elizabeth, why don't you read the first prompt on the Dreams tab under Shadow of Home?
Okay. The young woman sits up and drops her feet past the side of the bed. She looks around the room. A shadow takes the form of a pet she used to have. Which animal is it? How does it show the woman affection?
So you
And
you should answer those questions. Yeah.
it's a dog. It's a large white dog with a big coat of soft fur, and it's the dog is well taken care of and has a happy smile and is wearing a ribbon lovingly tied around his neck, and the dog puts his paws up on the bed near where the young woman has put her feet over the side of the bed, and nuzzles his head onto her calves and gives her a lick on the knee, and seems to be asking to be lifted up onto the bed with her.
Super. So let's go on to Shirley. You're going to the library, right? Now,
Yeah, I am.
I wonder how long it takes you to really see that there is no library. Um, but
Huh.
there are some shelves of books in the bar.
Oh,
Maybe that's what poor Matthew Miller meant.
probably. What else would be a library here, right?
Yeah. Um, so the um, so this bar usually appears to be um, like a antechamber to the chapel, which is the dining hall.
Okay.
There are kind of small chandeliers hanging from the ceiling. and above that there is a starry sky.
Yes.
Um, what when this was in the daylight, what new constellations did Marga discover in the starry ceiling?
Oh, this is painted ceiling, right? Just
Yes.
oh,
Well,
okay.
I guess.
Okay. But if we see it in the daylight, it would
Yeah, yeah.
stand to, if you're reasonable in the daylight, it looked like. I think the new constellation that she discovered was the Swan. I mean, there is an actual constellation called the Swan, but this was the dying swan. Um, and she had seen a poster, and I think she's shown it to Shirley, of the, I don't know if the ballet is old enough, but about of a ballet about swans, and was very and then told Shirley, like, look, this is the neck of the swan and also the arm of the girl, and takes up a position like a ballet dancer, like somebody thinks who thinks that that's what a ballet dancer would look like, and then shows them these are the ruffles of the skirt or the feathers. Can you see it? Can you see that? And Charlie was nodding along, and she was seeing it. She was totally seeing the dying swan dancer, who's both a girl and a swan.
So you're poking your nose in, right?
So poking my nose in. Yes, my poor nose. But I have to for Marga, right? And our dream. I look up to the swan star sign thing constellation, like getting some inspiration or courage from it. And then I say to myself, trying to sound like Miss Pfeiffer, look, Nellie and Henny are in the forest. You are in a bar. Get some gumption, girl. Look at the books. They're not gonna bite you. They're not bears. And then she kind of, yeah, gets some courage from this admonishment and steps up and carefully, very carefully draws out the books and looks for something that looks like the weird symbol she saw. Or something
Okay.
else that's
Yeah.
interesting, but mostly the symbol.
Okay. So thorough examination or questioning, I think.
Yes.
Rolling smarts.
Yeah.
And let's run to the next
Oh, okay.
the next dream sequence in that as well. So let me see who is next. Zena, do you want to read and answer the next dream prompt?
Mm-hmm. Just a moment. Okay. Oh, oops. I have scrolled down for some reason. Okay. A humanoid shadow opens the door. It's someone from the hotel. They ask the young woman to come to dinner. Are they a parent, a sibling? Which suspect's voice does the shadow speak in? That is very confusing. Someone from the
And
hotel, but also are they a parent or a sibling? Okay.
so, yeah, I mean, so I guess you get to decide, yeah, I guess who they are to the young woman in the bedroom, right?
Right. Okay. I think it's yeah, it's probably a sibling. And yeah, I think it's the woman's younger sister. But then disturbingly, the voice that comes out of her mouth is that of Tiberius Roth.
Okay.
but I don't know. Maybe it's not disturbing to her in the moment.
It's just a strange thing that happens in a dream that you accept in that moment. Yeah, yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay. Amazing. Um, so, Elizabeth, we are on to you bringing a dinner tray up to Sister Hedwig. What do you think is on this, supper tray?
Okay. Well, Patrick cooks spicy Cajun cuisine, and even though Sister Hedwig has asked for bland food repeatedly, Patrick ignores her requests and actually adds a few extra grains of cayenne pepper or shakes out of the spice tin to jolt her, and it is a gumbo without seafood. It's hard to obtain here in Northern California. Doesn't come often, seafood, but it's rice and it's vegetables out of the garden and sausage, and it's a very large portion, and it's quite aromatic, strong smelling, and there is also a glass of warm milk.
And Sister Hedwig is in bed, as she almost always seems to be. She's ill and perennially bedridden. Um, the shadows in this room are playing tricks on your mind. You swear that the bed itself seems to be, floating. Or maybe it's her who's floating. But when the light from the corridor, comes in and fully illuminates the room, yeah, a trick of light for sure. And she looks over at you, and her finger, her kind of gnarly finger, beckons you over.
Good evening, sister. Chef has prepared a specialty dish for you for your dinner.
And her nose wrinkles, probably before she even smells it, in some kind of, I don't know, disgust at what the chef might have made to torment her this time. Are you trying to just pay attention to her, find out what she wants, or are you trying to, pump her for some information? How subtle are you being here?
I'm feeling a bit of sympathy for her since Sister Hedwig never leaves her room, or seldom, and her requests are ignored by some of the other hotel staff. I want to, leverage her needs.
Okay. So so if you take care of her a bit more than most, she can give you some information or tell you what really happened here in the past. What do you think?
Yeah, I'll try to take care of her. I'll offer her the milk. I'll try to scrape some of this pungent yet quite flavorful stew off of the bland rice, offers her some of that, and pull out of a pocket of my apron a fresh pear.
Okay. Well, before you roll those dice, let's go back to our dream. Sabine, I think prompt 3 is for you.
Okay. All dreams, prompt 3. Oh. Downstairs, the table's set, and shadows are waiting patiently for the young woman to join them. What shows this dinner celebrates a special occasion? How is tradition been twisted into a nightmare? Now, celebration, clearly Thanksgiving. You can see some of the symbology, some wheat, but the most prominent feature is the turkey. It's huge. It also doesn't look like a baked turkey. This looks like a taxidermied turkey that is set in the middle of the table, staring at the young woman out of glassy eyes, almost seeming to float in the shadows. And as the young woman walks in, you never can quite see the silhouettes of the people that are there, but they are all staring, and you know that their stare is very disapproving. Most disapproving is the glass-eyed turkey. And in front of her is set a dish, but it's not, it looks like food, but it's not. It's just wax. But everybody looks at her and expects her to eat it. And she picks up this little wax, I think it's a kind of a cherry tomato or something, and brings it to her mouth, and she knows if she bites into it, something will come out. Something crawling, something moving will come out. And yet she moves the tomato while the turkey stares at her.
Amazing. So I am just looking at the time, and I know we have like 3 rolls to resolve. So I wonder if we're better placed to wrap up, do our stars and wishes, and then hit the ground running next week with the pell-mell of nightly action. So if that sounds good, I'll stop the recording, and then we'll do our debrief.